The Grand Hall of the Galaxy Council was buzzing with tension. Representatives from countless alien worlds had gathered in one place, the place where the fate of millions was decided. The walls, tall and shining with unknown metals, echoed with quiet whispers and the shifting of heavy robes. Eyes from all corners of the galaxy were on this meeting, watching carefully what would happen next. For months, the Galaxy Council had been trying to find peace with humanity. Humans were newcomers in the galaxy, and many feared them. Some said humans were dangerous and wild. Others believed humans were strong but reckless. Yet for the sake of peace, the Council had kept the doors open for talks. Negotiations had dragged on for too long with little result. The humans had been quiet but firm. Their leader, known only as Commander Rourke, had come with a calm but serious voice. He had spoken carefully, making it clear humanity wanted peace, but not at the cost of their freedom or safety. The Council listened, but many were growing impatient. Rumors began to spread. Humans were preparing for war behind the scenes. Today was supposed to be another talk, another chance to find common ground. But the air felt different. Even the stars outside seemed to hold their breath. Commander Rourke stepped forward. His sharp eyes scanned the crowd. He did not look angry or upset, but his voice carried a weight that silenced the room. "The talks are over," he said simply. "Humanity will no longer negotiate with the Galaxy Council." A shocked silence followed. Some representatives gasped. Others whispered to each other in hurried alien tongues. A few council members stood, their faces hardening with anger. "How can you say this?" a tall figure from the Zelthar species shouted. His skin shimmered like liquid silver, and his voice was cold. "You came here seeking peace, and now you walk away?" Rourke remained calm. "We came seeking peace. But peace requires trust, and trust is gone. Your council hides secrets and makes plans that threaten us. We cannot risk more talks when your words mean nothing." The council chamber erupted in chaos. Voices rose in anger and confusion. Members shouted over each other, demanding explanations, calling for calm, and warning of consequences. The once peaceful room was now a battlefield of words. But Rourke did not flinch. He knew what this moment meant. It was not just the end of talks. It was the beginning of a new chapter in the galaxy's story, one that might be written in fire. Outside the chamber, whispers grew louder. Rumors spread that humanity had built secret weapons, ships more powerful than anything the galaxy had seen. Many feared the humans had waited too long, and now they were ready to strike. In the dark corners of the council's meeting place, a shadow moved silently. A spy from the council watched the humans with suspicion. This spy had seen things no one else had seen. Strange human technology, ships moving without sound, soldiers trained beyond normal limits. The spy wondered, had the council been blind to the truth all this time? Back in the chamber, the council's leader, an ancient being known as the Elder Vrax, called for order. "We must remain united," Vrax said, his voice heavy and wise. "Humanity's decision shakes us all, but we cannot fall into chaos. We must prepare, but with caution." Some members nodded, but others whispered of war. The cracks in the council's unity began to show. Factions formed, each with their own ideas on how to deal with humanity's bold move. Meanwhile, on Earth, Commander Rourke watched the broadcasts of the council's chaos. He knew the galaxy would react with fear and anger, but he believed humanity had no choice. For too long, they had tried to reason with the council only to be ignored or betrayed. His mind flashed back to the secret meeting weeks ago, deep underground on Earth. Human scientists had presented new technology, energy weapons, shields, ships that could disappear in space. They had told him the galaxy would soon see humanity's true power. Rourke smiled faintly. "Let them see," he thought. "Let them understand we are not to be ignored." As the council struggled to regain control, a new danger stirred in the galaxy. An ancient race, long thought extinct, watched silently from the shadows. They had been waiting, watching humanity grow in strength. Now, with the council divided and chaos spreading, their time to act had come. Back in the council chamber, tension was rising like a storm. Representatives from different worlds accused each other of weakness and betrayal. Some wanted to launch attacks on human colonies. Others argued for last-minute peace offers. But no one truly knew what the humans planned. Next, would they attack first, or would they wait and watch? In the silence of space, the human warships moved quietly, hidden from prying eyes. Their crews trained for what might come, a war unlike any other. And so, the galaxy held its breath. This was only the beginning. The galaxy was restless. After humanity's sudden end to talks, no one knew what to expect next. The council's great chamber remained empty, but outside, in dark places and quiet corners, worry grew like a silent storm. The representatives of many worlds spoke in hushed voices, afraid to say the wrong thing, afraid to make the first move. Commander Rourke stood on the bridge of the flagship Earth Star. The stars outside were cold and distant, but his mind burned with plans. The humans had waited long for this moment. For years they had studied the galaxy's powers, learning what made their neighbors strong and weak. Now the time had come to show they would no longer be ignored. The humans had kept many secrets. Hidden deep beneath Earth's surface in vast underground facilities, scientists worked day and night. They had created new ships, faster and stronger than anything seen before. They had built powerful shields that could stop nearly any attack, and energy systems that could run without fuel for months. This was not just a fleet, it was a promise. Rourke's second-in-command, Lieutenant Arya, approached quietly. "Commander, the scouts report no unusual activity near the border. The Council's forces seem confused but cautious." Rourke nodded. "Good. We will keep it that way for now. We do not want to start anything, but we must be ready." Across the galaxy, Council worlds were changing. Some were nervous. The people whispered in markets and homes about the humans' sudden silence. "What do they want?" they asked. "Why? Did they stop the talks?" Others felt angry. They blamed the Council for being weak, for letting humanity grow too strong. They urged their leaders to take a firm stand, to show the humans they could not break the galaxy's rules. Inside the Council's chambers, meetings were tense. Elder Vrack struggled to hold the Council together. He reminded them that peace was still the goal, but his words were like trying to hold back a rising tide. One of the Council's younger members, a sharp-eyed woman named Lyra from the planet, Zephyra, stood quietly at the edge of the room. She had watched the humans closely. Something about their sudden silence did not feel like weakness. It felt like waiting for the right moment to change everything. Lyra's mind was busy. She had seen data reports from her spies, human ships moving in secret, new weapons being tested. The humans had not given up on peace. They were preparing for something greater, and the Council was not ready. Late one night, Lyra visited the dark halls where spies met. She passed a message to one of her trusted agents. "Watch the humans, closely. Their next move will change the galaxy." Back on Earthstar, Rourke walked among his crew. The soldiers trained hard but stayed calm. They knew the galaxy was watching, and they knew what was at stake. They were proud to serve humanity in this moment. A message came from the scouts. Unusual energy readings near the rim sector. Possible unknown vessel approaching. Rourke's eyes narrowed. "Prepare to identify. No alarms yet. We need to understand what is coming." The tension grew thicker with each passing day. The Council was falling apart, its members divided by fear and doubt. Some still hoped for peace, others believed war was coming. Humanity waited quietly, their strength hidden, their resolve strong. And somewhere, watching from the shadows, a force older than the Council itself prepared to make its move. The galaxy was on the edge of change. The silence in space was heavy. The humans had ended their talks, but they had not made a move. Yet, every world watched and waited, trying to guess what would come next. The Galaxy Council was still divided, unsure whether to prepare for peace or something else. "Commander," Rourke stood before the large window on the Earth Star, staring out at the endless stars. His face was calm, but inside, his thoughts raced. The humans had been patient for a long time, but now, patience was ending. They had something to prove, not with words but with action. Far away on a small planet called Zereth, a council messenger received a secret report. The report said human ships had quietly entered the edges of the rim sector. These ships were different, faster, smarter, and almost impossible to detect. The messenger's hands trembled as he read. The council needed to know, but many leaders did not want to believe it. Lyra from Zephyr was already making her own plans. She understood that humanity's quiet strength was growing. She believed the council must find a way to talk to humans again, but this time with respect. She reached out to other members quietly, hoping to build a group who wanted peace but also strength. Meanwhile, back on Earthstar, the crew worked hard. They tested new systems and trained in the simulator rooms. Rourke walked among them, feeling the quiet power in their steady movements. These were not just soldiers, they were the future of humanity's place in the galaxy. A sudden alert sounded. The ship's sensors had detected a signal. It was weak but clear, an ancient code known only to a few. Rourke studied it. This code was a call for help from a forgotten race, the Dralnari. Long ago, they had disappeared after a great disaster. Now something was reaching out from their lost world. Rourke gathered his officers. "This could change everything," he said. "The Dralnari's message may hold secrets that could shift the balance. We must answer." The decision was made. A small team would travel to the Dralnari world to investigate. The risks were high, but so were the rewards. If the Dralnari survived, they might become allies, or enemies. As the Earthstar prepared to send the team, news from the council grew darker. Some worlds whispered of taking action without waiting for peace. Others called for unity, but their voices were weak. Lyra worked hard to keep hope alive. She sent messages to Commander Rourke, hoping to open a secret line of communication. "We need to understand each other before it is too late," her message read. Rourke considered the offer carefully. He knew the council's strength had weakened, but the galaxy was bigger than any one group. Humanity could stand alone, but it was stronger with friends. The shuttle carrying the team landed quietly on the Dralnari planet. The world was dark and silent, covered with strange plants and tall, twisted trees. The team moved carefully, searching for signs of life. Suddenly, one of the sensors picked up movement. Something was alive, but not like any life they had seen before. The team held their breath. Back on the Earthstar, the crew waited anxiously. The fate of the mission might decide the future of the galaxy. The silence of space was no longer empty. It was waiting. The shuttle landed softly on the Dralnari world. The air was thick with strange smells, and the sky was painted in shades of deep purple and green. The team stepped carefully onto the uneven ground, their eyes scanning the shadows. Between twisted trees, everything was quiet, too quiet. Commander Rourke watched from Earthstar, his gaze fixed on the live feed from the shuttle's cameras. The tension was growing. This mission was more than just a rescue or a search. It was a test. A test to see if the humans could reach out to the forgotten corners of the galaxy and change the story written for them by others. The team's leader, Captain Malik, moved forward with steady steps. His voice was calm but full of curiosity. "Keep your sensors active. We don't know what's here, but the message we received was clear. Someone or something needs help." As they explored, the team found signs of an ancient civilization, ruins, covered in vines, strange carvings on stones and machines that had not worked for centuries. The air hummed faintly with energy, as if the planet itself was waiting. Suddenly, a soft light appeared in the distance. The team moved toward it, cautious but hopeful. When they reached the source, they found a group of beings unlike anything they had seen. Tall, graceful, with skin that shimmered like crystals. Their eyes were filled with intelligence and sadness. The beings spoke, but not with words. Their thoughts reached the humans directly, clear and strong. They were the last of the Drelnari, survivors of a disaster that had nearly wiped out their kind. For centuries they had lived in hiding, afraid of the galaxy's dangers. But now they needed help. Commander Rourke listened to the message from Captain Malik. The Drelnari held knowledge that could change the balance of power, a technology lost to most, able to protect worlds and bring new hope. But it came with a warning. If it fell into the wrong hands, it could cause great harm. The Galaxy Council was divided. Some saw this as a chance to heal old wounds and build new alliances. Others whispered fears of human ambition and control. Lyra, from Zephyra, believed in the Drelnari's hope. She pushed harder within the council, calling for an end to the fighting and a new beginning with humanity and the Drelnari together. On Earthstar, Rourke knew the path ahead was difficult. Trust was fragile, and the galaxy watched closely. But humanity's choice was clear: to reach out, to protect, and to prove that their strength was not just in power, but in hope. As the shuttle returned, carrying the Drelnari's message and their future, the galaxy held its breath once more. A new chapter was beginning, one of chance, challenge, and change. The story was far from over. The galaxy buzzed with whispers. The discovery of the Drelnari had shaken many worlds, and the Council's divisions grew deeper. Some saw the Drelnari's technology as a key to peace, while others feared it might upset the balance. Yet amidst the chaos, humanity stood firm, patient, strong, and ready. Commander Rourke paced on the bridge of Earthstar, the stars outside a steady backdrop to the storm inside. The message from the Drelnari was clear. Their technology could protect or destroy, but it required guardians, those who would use it wisely. Humanity was offered a chance to become those guardians. Lyra from Zephyra worked tirelessly within the Council, trying to bring members together. She believed peace was still possible, but only if the Council listened and trusted humanity's new role. Secret meetings, whispered conversations, and careful plans began to weave a fragile hope. Meanwhile, on Earthstar, the humans prepared to share the Drelnari's knowledge with trusted Council members. Scientists studied the ancient technology, uncovering ways to improve shields and energy systems without causing harm. Engineers worked to build new devices that could help many worlds. But not all were ready to accept this change. Some factions within the Council feared losing control. Rumors of secret plans and hidden fleets grew. The tension was a slow burn, but it could ignite at any moment. The humans decided to host a summit, a chance to bring the Council together, to show their commitment to peace and cooperation. Invitations were sent, messages filled with hope, but also caution. The summit's location was Earth itself, a symbol of humanity's open hand. As representatives arrived, the atmosphere was thick with suspicion and curiosity. Many had never set foot on Earth before, and the planet's history and strength fascinated them. Yet the question lingered: could humans be trusted? Commander Rourke welcomed the delegates personally. His calm confidence was a reminder that humanity had changed, not just in power but in purpose. The summit began with speeches, presentations, and demonstrations of the Drelnari technology. The moment was tense. Some council members listened carefully, others whispered among themselves. Lyra spoke passionately about the future, a future where different worlds could work together, protect each other, and grow stronger. Outside the summit halls, protests and demonstrations showed the galaxy's divided feelings. Some cheered the idea of peace and unity. Others feared a new power rising too fast. Earth's skies filled with signs of hope and caution. Inside, the summit faced challenges. Old wounds, mistrust, and fear made every step difficult. But slowly, agreements began to form. Humanity's offer was clear: to guard the ancient technology, to share its benefits, and to work for a galaxy where no one ruled by fear. As the summit closed, a new alliance was born, not perfect, but real. The Galaxy Council faced a choice: to stand divided or to step forward together. Commander Rourke looked to the stars once more, knowing the road ahead was still long. But for the first time in many years, hope shone brightly. The galaxy was changing. The galaxy held its breath as the new alliance began to take shape. It was fragile, built on hope and cautious trust. Many worlds watched with skepticism, unsure if old fears could truly be left behind. But humanity, led by Commander Rourke, moved forward with a steady purpose. The Dralnari technology was not just a tool. It was a promise, a chance to build a future where everyone could stand together. The days after the summit were filled with activity. Scientists from many races worked side by side, sharing ideas and discoveries. The ancient technology sparked new innovations, ways to protect planets, improve energy use, and connect distant worlds. It was a beginning unlike any other. Yet not all challenges were technical. Deep in the council chambers, old rivalries still whispered. Some members struggled to accept that humans, once outsiders, were now leaders in this new age. They questioned motives and worried about power shifting too fast. Lyra remained a steady voice for unity. She traveled between worlds, speaking to leaders and citizens alike. Her words carried a message of hope, reminding everyone that strength came from working together, not standing apart. Slowly, her vision began to inspire. On Earth Star, Commander Rourke prepared for a new mission. The Dralnari had revealed more than technology. They had shared stories of their past, lessons of survival, and warnings about dangers still hidden in the galaxy. There were mysteries yet to uncover, places to explore, and threats to understand. The team selected for this mission was diverse, chosen not just for skill, but for their ability to build bridges between cultures. They were explorers and diplomats, scientists and storytellers. Together, they would carry the promise of the new alliance across the stars. As their ship lifted off, the galaxy watched with hope and uncertainty. This mission was more than exploration. It was a test of trust, courage, and the will to change. Back on Earth, celebrations mixed with quiet moments of reflection. The long silence after the breaking point was ending. Humanity's choice to end talks had seemed like the start of conflict, but it had opened the door to something new. The galaxy was learning that peace was not weakness, and that sometimes the hardest battles were fought without weapons. Commander Rourke stood once more by the great window of Earth Star. The stars outside seemed brighter now, filled with possibilities. He knew the road ahead would be long and filled with challenges, but also with hope. The story of humanity was still being written, and this time, it was a story of light.